The only thing that you are doing right now is just traumatizing your children.
These are great. We need to actually transition more children. We need more drag queen story time for elementary school kids.
What is up, guys? John Claymore here. Now, this video right here, we're going to talk about this latest incident in Garland, Texas. And don't worry, we're going to view the full clip of actually what went down, or at least what Stein got. Now, guys, some of you know that I've been a little bit down on Stein recently, but of course, this right here is the good version of him, the version that actually trolls liberals, of course. And the reason why I like him doing this is because obviously it serves to some ramifications later on in the future that a lot of these types do not see. Now, guys, before we fully get into this, a few disclaimers have got to be made. First and foremost, the good news. Donald Trump has officially been reinstated on Twitter. Okay, Elon Musk did a poll, and of course we'll be talking more about that in the video on Monday, which, by the way, is going to cover censorship at large as a whole, and of course the actual adjustments and why it is I've chosen to take the same exact video I'm recording now and make a more uncut version to Rumble, which, by the way, will also be out tomorrow on that platform as well, which, by the way, is Sunday. Now, guys, we got to talk about this because I've spoken about this issue a lot. And, of course, I've got to curb the language here because YouTube decided to lay a phantom strike on my channel the other day, which, by the way, I appealed and they removed. It was a video that I made earlier in the year, like 4 or 5 months ago. I actually privatized the video, and, of course, YouTube gave me a strike for it. I have no idea why they did that because it's a privatized video. It's not going up in the algorithm, and obviously it's a private video. Only a certain select people that I send it to can actually see it. Either way, though, we got to talk about this. Now, guys, I've spoken about this little agenda. Can't use the actual words, or else YouTube will lay a strike on this channel. And I've told you guys before that it was all about votes because, you see, the vast majority of liberals do not have children. Conservatives, of course, have kids at a much, much higher rate. And, of course, liberals are trying to actually go after our kids. Now, I have done a video on this, which, by the way, I had to remove. Don't worry, we'll be doing more stuff on that at a later date, which, by the way, will probably be on Rumble because it's a little bit more risque. But the thing is this right here. They don't have children, so they figure that what they want to do is try to get a hold of your children at home. And, of course, that there's the whole goal of this entire ordeal is to actually take them over and create Democrat votes at a later date to actually normalize this entire ordeal. But there's a few things that I really want to talk about in this video. And one of them, of course, is Antifa and their camouflage. Now, we'll talk about that on the flip side. With that there being said, let's go ahead and roll the video.
See, this guy keeps on trying to bump me every time I walk by. You what? Dude, I'm walking down the street. I'm standing here. I'm allowed.
Let him go sideways.
Get out of my...
Alright, Alex, you need to leave.
I'm not leaving, guys. You're trying to get in my way. I'm here on a public street. Get out of my way. Oh my God, guys, I'm so scared. The Antifa, they brought their play guns, their squirt guns. Oh my God, your arts and crafts time. Did this mess up your arts and crafts time? You guys gonna be able to go home and play with your arts and crafts?
Why is it so tiny?
Look how scary they are. Oh my God, this guy's so scared. I'm so scared. He's got his gun, his big gun. He's a big bad guy. Oh my God, I'm so happy you're protecting these children so they can go get indoctrinated and go in there for transgender story time. You're such a good American. God bless this guy. Look at him. Oh, I'm scared. How dare you? I mean, these people, these are the real cowards. They're hiding behind their masks. They got their little guns. They think they're so tough. We're at a bookstore here in Denton, Texas, where they're trying to do drag queen story hour. And of course, the typical people here with their masks on, not able to actually stand up for what they believe in because they're all cowards. Officer, you think it's unusual they have their assault weapons like that out here in front of a place like this? Is that normal? No comment.
Dude,
I'm walking down the street. I'm standing here. I'm allowed.
Let him go sideways.
Get out of my...
Alright, Alex, you need to leave.
I'm not leaving. But see, these are the real scaredy cats.
Alex basically knocking that guy over, which he didn't really knock the guy over. The guy more along the lines of just trip. By the way, Stein's a pretty big guy. I don't think his YouTube comedy is well, I don't think his stand-up comedy is that great, but he's great when he's trolling AOC, and of course he does stuff like this right here. But that's a very, very big man. He just kind of just put his arm out there, and old boy just kind of fell, just kind of dropped. Don't worry, we'll probably be playing that clip more and more and more. Yeah, it's up here now. I'm going to be playing it a little bit in the voiceover. But I got to make this point before I go any further to Antifa. Antifa, by the way, they want to take over the entire United States. They want to take over the cities. And I think it's hilarious that they think that they're going to do this because, as you guys can see with their camouflage here, they stick out like a sore thumb. They're wearing all black. They're wearing the pride flag to go along with it. And, of course, they stick out like a sore thumb. They're about as subtle as a... as a turd on the highway. I mean, let's just go ahead and put that out there. To me, this is kind of funny because it's the same thing we used to say about the British during the American Revolution, that they're wearing all red out in the middle of nowhere. You can see it from afar. That's basically what Antifa is doing. So you guys might want to learn to actually use camouflage, of which, by the way, I think that body armor is mostly airsoft. I mean, in fact, they were pretty bad too, but at least they did a better job at actually camouflaging themselves, if you guys know what I'm saying. Fact of the matter is that they've been trying this agenda for a long time. The idea is to try to get to our kids, and of course they actually failed this midterm election because even though it was not really an actual red wave, more of a red ripple, Republicans did win back a lot of school districts. They won back most of the ones that were on the ballot. And, of course, that's where this stuff starts at. They try to indoctrinate our kids at a very, very young age, try to make it normalized. But the only thing you're doing is you're traumatizing the little hell out of the child. Now, guys, you can blame the left if you want to blame the left. I personally think you can't blame the left any more than you can blame a dog for being a dog, because that's who they are. This is who these people really truly are. The very, very radical left. This is not the old left that was all about free speech and whatnot. This is actually coming for your children. Now, guys, here is the thing. You got to ask yourself a question. Who is to blame for this? Who is to blame for this type of nonsense? Okay, you want to blame the city? Go right ahead for fostering that environment. You want to blame Governor Greg Abbott because it's going on in his state. No, 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 no. The answer to this question is a little bit closer to home. And what I mean by that is it's the actual parents. It is white suburban parents who are doing this to their children. You see, what's going on here is that they're actually, they think that they're doing their kid a service by going ahead and exposing them to this, but the only thing they're doing is traumatizing that child to where at the end of the day what will happen is that these type of memories will get repressed and then they'll come back up at a later date and you'll be wondering why the hell this child is so screwed up later on in life. The parents are the ones at fault, and if you want to shame somebody, you need to shame the parents. You see, I personally don't have a problem with people doing things in front of adults in adult settings. Okay, if you want to go to a strip club, for example, and you're an adult, go right ahead and do so. If you want to go to a porn shop, go right ahead and do so. I really truly don't care. However, what I do not like is I do not like the idea of parents throwing their children in front of this type of stuff, in front of this type of nonsense, because you're hurting the child later on in life. And I think that parents that do this are just sick, depraved, and disgusting. Or weak, or very dumb for being naive enough to do this. Now, guys, I want to end the video on this note right here. I'll tell you guys a quick little story, okay? Back in 2000, I think it was 2018 or 2019, when I decided to transfer over, you had to adjust the chair just now. When I decided to transfer over from the community college here where I live at to the actual university, I was not in sports studies. Originally, I was in recreational therapy. And of course, you got to take some psychology classes. And by the way, I minored in psychology to go along with my sports studies and my paralegal degree. One of the things that we saw was a documentary where I think it was people were pretending to be dogs. People were pretending to be cats. And of course, this trans agenda was going on at a very, very young age for these kids. As a matter of fact, I probably should put this video right here on Rumble. But the thing is this right here. One of the shticks that they use on parents is that they say that my child is going to commit suicide if you do not allow them to transition. However, if you allow a child to continue to be a child, eventually they will grow out of this. So we got like an 80 some odd percent rate that kids actually transition out of this. Now, by the way, if you have gender dysphoria, go get help. Okay, nobody is trying to knock you. If anything, we're trying to save you by keeping you from transitioning or doing something to hurt yourself that you're probably going to pay for a little bit later on in life and that you're going to regret. I mean, the trans suicide rate is extremely ridiculous. This type of nonsense right here has got to stop. I think you need to allow kids to be kids and not expose them to this type of stuff, especially at an early age. As I've said before, I'm not knocking the drag queens. I'm actually knocking the parents for carrying their children to go see these drag queens. Somebody in the comment section is going to come in here and say, well, you got no kids. And my response to you will be, if I had children, they would not be going to drag shows when they are 5 and 6 years old. If you want to go to a drag show, go right ahead and do that. But you should not be allowed to carry small children there because the only thing you are doing is warping their mind and destroying their future at a later date by mentally destroying them and emotionally destroying them. You're putting them in an environment that, quite frankly, they do not understand, but it will pop up years later, and they will wonder why this child is so screwed up, why this child's life is the way it is, why this child has a hang-up about this. It's because you did that to them. As I said before, you cannot blame the left any more than you can blame a dog for being a dog. You can't blame a snake for being a snake, but you can blame the parents for making very, very bad, evil, stupid, and extremely naive parental decisions. Guys, John Claymore here. If you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video. There will be a bigger project out on Trump's reinstatement. Of course, we're talking about Elon Musk's selective reinstatements. Censorship, YouTube as a whole. That video right there will be out on Monday. Once again, like button, subscribe, share the video. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. I'll see you guys later.